Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another real life video. And again, it's on one of my many model railways that I have. This one, however, is one that I have done during the lockdowns that we've had. I think I started this back in the summertime because I had literally nothing else to do, and I had all the track and everything to make it. So, excuse me. But yeah, I hope you guys are well, and I'm basically going to show you guys another one of my layouts that I've been working on, and one that sort of progressed over the past couple of days of me filming this, and some new plans have emerged from it. So without further ado, we shall crack on and start with the overview of the layout. So basically, this is built on your bod standard shelf, followed by some polystyrene insulation, followed by some 6mm MDF to form just a hard structure to actually build the layout on itself. As you can see, I've got some hills with some static grass. You can't make it out very well, but all this is something called static grass. It basically, when you apply it, you shake it and you pump it, etc., and it gives you a real life grass effect. So you can kind of see it a lot better there. It's all like sort of standing up and everything, and basically just looks a lot more realistic than just your bod standard scatter. But yeah, I've got it kind of here, there and everywhere and in the tracks because I've actually given this layout a name called the end of the line, which basically, because it's got multiple meanings for this layout, as in this station is the last station on that line, but not only that, is as you can tell, I've rusted the tracks and the grass growing through the tracks, because it is the dying days of this line itself. The station might be the last one on the line, but it's soon to be, closed and lost to, the wildlife, as you can see, with the shrubbery around the back, etc. Obviously, this one hasn't got a bat scene yet. I haven't built the bat scene. So when I've got bat scene with trees and everything on it, it made a lot more sense. But I haven't got around to that yet. But yeah, everything on this layout as well, apart from the two buildings, everything has been scratch built. This little loading platform and crane are scratch built. The hills I've obviously scratch built, doing the same technique of expanding foam, then plaster, and then static grass and paint, etc. This is an old station canopy I had from when I was about 9, from a double O gauge layout at my granddad's, as did this little signal box. This double O gauge, which I've repainted both and weathered it to sort of match the rustic look of this station, as well as scratch building the platform out of card and some stone wall-in sheet. And I've made a little footpath there where, if we zoom in a little bit, you can see that there's a man holding his hat and his jacket's all like blowing around, and the signalman is meant to be pointing at which train he's meant to get, and just a normal station porter there carrying some luggage to the platform itself. So as we sort of pan on down the station, we kind of got almost like a investor businessman stood around, sort of just as a bit of prototypical buyers of the layout. As you can see, I've still got people to sit down. There's a family there. Obviously I've got barrels and stuff to sit down. All these people have also got to be stuck down in certain areas, and I've got a coal heap to go here and to finish painting this walkway. We've got some workmen just waiting to load up trains there. All this fencing as well has all been scratch built. It's amid the actual wooden bits itself is coffee stirrers cut in half and then sized down to shape and painted, and all the lines itself is all cotton thread. and they literally go all the way along the layout. And I've got more to make when I extend it this way, but we'll get to that in a minute. I've scratch built this bridge as well, which is just a basic standard bridge to cross what is sort of like a small ravine, which I've got to gloss varnish. I got to varnish it and everything, and add the ripple effect to everything from coming down the hill. But that's on the to-do list of what I have planned. Obviously, you can see my dote's falling over, but that dote is meant to be stood up, just sort of stood around at the top. And yeah, originally this layout was only meant to be this long because it was meant to be a shelf layout, and it was meant to stop there, and the back scene would go across there, and I was going to have a big tree here to cover up the hole. However, in the past couple of days, I have decided to extend this layout into an L shape. So I've actually done a paint all this brown and static grass it, and extend this hill as well all the way along the back. And then at this end, there is going to be a curve that curves on rounds this way, and we'll go off down there, and there'll be more on that when I build it. But yeah, it's obviously I've moved house now, so I've got more space to do stuff, and I really do like this layout. This layout as a 009 layout, you can get rolling stock like these in the carriages, and I've got one ready to run train, but most of it you have to scratch build at this stage, because if you want something to your layout, it has to be scratch built. So we will do for a couple that I have built. So this, obviously, as you can see, is still in the early stages yet, but I've scratch built a guards van. Still got to finish painting it, adding the details, adding the guard and the couplings. This is actually a kit that you can get from Pecco. As you can see, I've started painting it. I've still got the roof and boiler to paint, but this runs on a small Tato chassis, which is a really good runner. Now all my trains, apart from the ready to run one, because it was so expensive, have got a personal railway like sort of livery design. So this is my first scratch built 009 gauge train. It's built on a 062 chassis. Still got to paint the gold whistles on top of there, but it's got a crew, as you can see in there. And I've scratch built this whole body out of card and a few little bits of plastic here and there. But as you can see, it is in the green and black, as is the tram. So that is also to match the ready to run carriages as well, which we got here, which I'll get onto in a minute. So I've done some customization to it. Obviously, I'm not gonna paint this because these cost a lot of money, and I'm really not willing to ruin it because I like the black anyway. It's black. It does suit the time period as well. And finally, for train wise anyway, for now, is this. Now, as you can see, it is obviously not finished. I actually started this one yesterday, and it originally started out as a 00 gauge cowboy train, exactly like this. You wouldn't think it, but that was once that. Except for I've chopped it about, used parts, taken the parts away, and this is the result we've got so far. So obviously you can see I've added a bell, I've changed the dome, I've added my own funnel, given it the black and green paint job. I've scratch built the cab end, so these windows and that little square piece there, it's all scratch built, as is the funnel itself. Unlike the other scratch built one I have, this one has the hand railings, so I've managed to salvage it from the actual 00 gauge. So yeah, basically the part I've used is that front piece. I cut the back end off. Let's try and get a side for side view here. I cut this piece off and then attached a square piece, then the cab. And that is all built on an N-gauge basically 009 dice, if you don't know what it is 00 gauge people, vehicles, buildings and bodies on N gauge chassis. So that just sits on there like that. That will obviously be stuck down once I've finished with the body and I've built the roof, etc. Now, it's in the early stages, but I've also started working on a tender, but I still got a filler and put plaster in this crack here. It's obviously so that hides it. And then that will obviously sit and match on there as well in the same green livery to match that. And that'll be a nice little train. And I will do another video on this layout because I'm obviously working on it as we speak. So there'll be more layout updates to come on this. But obviously I want to build the extension and I'm going to show you guys that as progress is made on that. But yeah, I just really wanted to show you that one because that is probably the best scratch built loader I've built. It's obviously not finished, but it's definitely in the top 3 loaders I've ever built. Not just in this stage and end stage and 00 as well, but when it comes to scratch building trains, it is extremely hard, and it's taken me a while to do, but we're getting there. And like I said, it was a cowboy train once that was exact same as this. I think it was silver, and I've hacked it about, and I still have the original cab from it as well, which I tried to make use of, but it just wasn't working. So I was like, no, we'll completely scratch built the cab. And basically the final piece is the actual rolling stock itself. Now I've actually used a bit of 00 gauge technique here of uncoupling, and I've super glued a piece of if we can get it to focus, I don't know if we can or not, a piece of metal there is actually magnetic, and when it runs over the magnet will lift this hook up. So it'll lift it up, and when I move off the magnet, obviously they go back down. So I've added it to this coach and the back guards van. I've still got to add it to my goods widens, and I've still got to add the magnet in the tracks there and there so that I can detach that. Now the original plan was, obviously I'm not exhibiting this one, this isn't an exhibit one. This is one mainly to make YouTube videos with, and for personal satisfaction and pleasure, I guess, of scratch building stuff and making it look nice. And you know what, you never know, I could take this to an exhibition if I ever feel like it, but I don't know. But this is definitely one of the most hardest scratch building and what's the word, delicate I've actually done to a layout. Obviously the TIV layout is obviously a lot smaller than this scale wise, but nonetheless is as hard. But this is obviously all stretch built, so you can't do anything in a certain gauge. But I think to end the video, guys, I'm gonna just show you the running of this ready to run train. The tracks haven't been cleaned since I've moved, so I don't know how well it'll run, but you can see there the plan is, and then he would go back around there. Obviously I've got my stretch built train there, so he can't go back round. He'd then go and hook back onto the back of the carriages and then go back off into the hills. Obviously if you guys also would have just seen then that when this train goes forward, actually has a light, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I just don't give you a quick update on this layout because, like I said, this is the layout that I'm doing the most work on at the moment during now I got some space to actually do something with, because it was one that, you know, I've got the Titfield Thunderbolt layout, which I will do a video on as well, but that layout's done and ready for exhibiting, but obviously there's no exhibits at the moment because of the situation we're in, and the TIV layout's on the back burner because I can't get certain pieces because of obviously factories and everything are currently shut. So the fact that this I can scratch build a lot of is really good, and obviously being Tu's still open and I have the track to do the extension. So it does look like within the next week I probably will have the baseboard built for the extension that goes over here. So that will join on there, and then we'll go down to the left in an L shape. So yeah, basically guys, I will leave it at that, and hopefully I will have another layout update on this in probably this time next week. I would have thought, when this video goes up, and have hopefully this train will hopefully be finished. If not, this Loto will be finished by then. I plan on having the extension started, and maybe some more widens I will have started making. And maybe if Matt's able to turn around and hold the camera, we can do a couple of actual running shots of the layout with the widens coming in, etc. But I can't do it on my own with the camera as well. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy, remember to leave like, subscribe, comment. You know the drill by now. And yeah, until next time guys, I'll catch you later. Bye for now.